Hey Basic Plains, welcome. Tonight's gonna be fun. I'm really excited. Like, I'm always at least a little bit excited to play Legacy, but tonight's particularly special. Hey King, welcome. You're probably gonna have a pretty fun video to watch a little bit later. Hello everyone, my name's Phil Gallagher and I run Thraben University, and tonight we're gonna have quite a bit of fun, I think. Tonight we're playing with Black Lotus. Orcish Lumberjack. So I know many of you have never seen this card before, so I'm just going to take a minute to read it. Sacrifice a forest. Add 3 mana in any combination of red and or green to your mana pool. So you get to sack a land to Black Lotus for red and green. That's kind of neat. Well, what would we do with that? Well, you can use this to accelerate out some pretty stupid large cards. I'm just going to make sure I don't have anything else here. So you can use this to go and accelerate out a natural order, for example. And natural order in the main deck can go and get you Dragon Lord Atarka, which can like nuke the board when it enters the battlefield, or you can get a Primeval Titan. Primeval Titan can in turn get you the Dark Depths combo, or just a bunch of sweet lands. This deck is... I don't think there's really a name for it. It's kind of like a Loam deck, but it's very different from 4-color Loam. Julian, thank you very much for auto-hosting. In 4-color Loam, you have like this set of hate cards in the main deck to go along with your game plan, right? Like you're a Chalice of the Void deck. That's not the case here. So what kind of deck are we? We're essentially a land-based value deck. So just kind of looking at the various land synergies that's here, we have Green Sun Zenith that can get you the Dryad armor as an additional land. We have Crop Rotation, which can turn the bad lands, that one's not in the deck, but more generic, unwanted lands into better lands. So you can get Wastelands, you can get the Seth Thespian Stage Dark Depths combo, you can get Bojuka Bog or Caracas as silver bullets, and you also have Sajiri Steppe to go and protect your stuff, and Scattered Groves as a cycling land. I had to look up what this card was, I had never seen it before. Everything else in this deck I've seen or played before, but that one was new to me. I've only seen the red-green one in play. Hey Bentley, nice to see you. So, continuing with the land synergy, Sylvan Safekeeper lets you sack a land to give all your creatures Shroud. The Punishing Fire combo is here with Grove of the Burn Willows. Life from the Loam gets all 27 of these lovelies back. Night is approximately a big in this matchup. Excuse me, sorry, in this deck. Sorry, I'm just kind of like getting over a cold, so a little sniffly still. Night's going to be huge in this deck. And then we have Titania. So for those of you not familiar with Titania, Titania reads, whenever it enters the battlefield, you return a land card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Whenever a land you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, create a 5/3 green elemental creature token. This is one of the bread and butter cards of the deck. Let's imagine, shall we, what we can do with this card. So, you can Sylvan Safekeeper, sacrifice all of your lands to turn each one of your lands into a 5/3 elemental token. You can sack all your lands to Sylvan Safekeeper to make Night absolutely massive. If you go for the Dark Depths combo, 2 lands go to your graveyard. Titania triggers twice. So the Dark Depths combo with Titania in play produces 30 power. This This is pretty neat. This is, as far as I know, the brainchild of MTGO Grinder's Solnox, who has crushed me every time I have gotten paired against him when he is playing this particular version. I just felt there was nothing I could do. I just kept getting like Dragon Lord and Target again and again and again. It was rough. The sideboard is his, with the exception of one card. So the sideboard kind of shores up a lot of matchups, and it has a lot of earlier interaction. But I couldn't help myself, chat. I really wanted to add in one card. I really wanted to put a Rurik Thar into this deck list. Like, I feel like you can hard cast it relatively easily with the acceleration that you get from, like, Green Sun Zenith and Mox Diamond and Orcish Lumberjack. And I also feel like it's a pretty good natural order target for against combo. So I really wanted, like, one other sort of unique natural order target, and I picked Rurik Thar. I don't know that this is actually good, but this is like a bonus stream, right? This is for me hitting 1,300 followers, and I couldn't help myself. I really loved Rurik Thar when I was playing Elves, just kind of like locally. I thought it was a really cool tutor target, and so I wanted to give it a go. And so that's what we're going to add to the sideboard tonight. Otherwise, more generally, looking at the sideboard breakdown, we have Swords to Plowshares and Kozilek's Return as sort of regular removal. We have Thalia as combo hate. Red Elemental Blast and Pyroblast to protect against the blue decks. Grudge and Rex Sage as hate for artifacts. Choke, because Choke's awesome. White Border Choke for extra tilting value. And then Scooz and Needle to round things out. Yeah, so Bentley, I played Sneak and Show off stream a couple of times somewhat recently. And I actually intended on playing Sneak and Show in the Legacy Premier League for round 2. I was pretty sure that was going to be an extremely well-positioned deck for the Legacy Premier League. And then I sat down and I played some games with it, and I just fucking drew terribly. And I tilted off pretty hard. Like, I produced a turn 1 Omniscience against some fair deck, and I never drew a cantrip or a creature for the rest of the game. And I was like, alright, I'm done with this. I'm done. I'm not going to play this deck. And so I ended up registering something else for the second round. Alright, actual question, with DNT on the rise, with Burn on the rise as well. So, with the modern Sneak and Show lists, Death and Taxes actually isn't favored anymore because of the copies of Omniscience that are in the deck. Let's battle. I just kind of want to like jump right into this. I want to have a lot of fun tonight playing with these cards. And I'm really hoping to do something stupid like Orcish Lumberjack into like natural order super, super early. Oh, I need to select a deck. Is that why it's yelling at me? All right. Solnox details. Oh. For second window. Oh, sorry. Sorry, chat. My second window went over to my other computer screen. Loam by Solnox. Let's do it. As a quick aside, anyone who did not watch the Legacy Premier League on Wednesday night really missed some amazing matches. I was fortunate enough to get to commentate on 2, and the first round that I commentated was a Grixis Control Mirror that was absolutely stellar. Alright, what does my hand do? My hand goes land, Dryad Arbor, turn 2 Knight. Keep. Oh my gosh, Solnox! I'm so excited to have you here. Like, really. I'm really excited to play this deck. Like, you absolutely crushed me with it, I don't know, about a week ago. And I just had so much fun watching you play that I wanted to try this deck out myself. Yeah, we absolutely saw some huge upsets in the Legacy Premier League this week. Waste my Dryad Arbor. Well, it's a little awkward. I can't cast this little fella right now, but he would be quite good. So the bird will let me cast a Lumberjack, and then I can Lumberjack away my Savannah to do cool things. Okay, can I do anything neat with crop rotation this turn? I don't think so. Like, I can fix my colors. I can't really get true card advantage here. So I think I just play Lumberjack and hold up my crop rotation for the potential third Wasteland. Yeah, I thought Bird into Night was going to be sweet, too. Oh my gosh, third Wasteland? Third Wasteland? Can't let you do that. Alright. So I can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana next turn, so I can Titania, so it doesn't really matter which land I get. I should probably get Scattered Groves, and I can put that into my graveyard so that if I draw a Loam, I can get that going. Okay, yeah, Solnox, in retrospect, I very much should have gotten a fetch land, so I could have gotten an immediate token. Yeah, I agree with that. Alright, so I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. I can't get to Primeval Titan right now. I can Knight, though. Yeah, this is a beating. This, like, the rounds that I played against you from the D&T side just felt terrible. Alright, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana, so I can play Library and Knight. That seems devastating. Oh yeah, I've never played any rounds with this deck. Don't expect me to play optimally. I'll figure things out probably by the end of the league. But like while I'm first learning what this deck can do, I'm gonna miss obvious stuff. Like in retrospect, it's like super obvious that I should grab that fetch, right? But just like never playing any games with the deck, that's not apparent to me. All right, so I'm gonna grab a pile of things that I think are good, and then we'll kind of see where we're going here. These 6 cards are the things that stand out to me as being pretty awesome. Like, Needle and Grudge deal with Vial and equipment. Rex Sage is a Green Sun Zenith target to do the same thing. And then we have K Return to mop up all the little stuff, and Swords to Plowshares as just additional removal. Yeah, Solnox, I believe that. Like, when I kind of, like, sat down and tried to, like, take a look at the numbers for this deck and, like, how things were supposed to work, I was not comfortable with making any main deck changes to what you had here. I made one change to the sideboard, and I put a Verric Thar in over the 3rd Blast, because I kind of wanted a cute tutor target for combo for my natural orders. That was the only change I was comfortable in making. I loved this deck list. So my Teague needs to go out. My Bojuka Bog doesn't really do anything. From there, I'm a little bit less sure how to sideboard. Alright, board out 1 to 2 Mox, and out a Loam. Alright, I can buy all of that for sure. So, Bosk, in my mind, this is kind of an offshoot of the 4-color Loam deck. It's certainly its own thing, though. Am I supposed to, like, trim a Titania because it's awkward in the face of 3 opposing Caracas, despite how insane it is? Like, I still need to make two cuts here. I'm not sure what to do. Or am I just, like, overboarding? And, like, I shouldn't play the Needle or something like that? Oh no, I'm a 61 card deck, so I need to keep that. Yeah, so I don't want to cut too many of the creatures because they're just important. Like, the green ones are important to be able to cast my natural orders. So this hand is going to be fine. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do yet. It's going to depend a lot on what my opponent leads on. But in some capacity, I'm probably going to have an early Knight of the Reliquary, potentially going into a quick combo, or otherwise just gearing up towards Primeval Titan. Alright, bye Solnox. Make sure to yell at me later. Alright, so I have 2 forests, 1 plains in this deck as basics, no mountain. So I want a Mox Diamond this turn so I can Knight next turn. And if I'm going to Knight, I want to grow it as much as I can. I think I can safely play around Wasteland since I'm going to have the Mox. So I can play this forest. I'll Mox. I don't think I want to early Dark Depths against them. I think I'm going to attrition this game out via Primeval Titan. I think. Maybe that's not true. Like, maybe just, like... I do have Titania to get this back. Alright, if something goes wrong with the Knight, I want to hardcast Titan. And so getting rid of the depths is good. I am hardcasting that this turn in case my opponent plays Thalia. That is why I am doing that, and forcing the decision early on. Alright, so we have a turn 2/5/5. That's decent. Honestly, I'm just like most afraid of my opponent going and slamming something like a Mirren Crusader. I don't think I have like a Maze of Ith to search for, right? No. Alright, so opponent's getting Flicker Wisp to ride the value train. Well, I can start pooping a whole lot of elementals here. So... Man, I'm going to get really aggressive. This is going to be cool. Alright. So play Taiga. Float 1. I can send this away. That will get me any fetch land. Not bad. I'll get a Savannah, I guess. But JPA, to be blunt, you should not listen to anything that Jack Jiggins posts ever. Oh, I just won my match. Yeah. So he's a player who articulates himself well, but I think most of his play experience comes from local metagames, and he posts a lot of really questionable stuff. I would take everything he says with a grain of salt. Yeah, the Flicker Wisp is one of the best cards in D&T. Cutting it is lunacy. Alright. Wisp is the card that lets you beat all the tier 2 and 3 decks. Alright. I'm gonna keep this hand. This hand's good. I don't know how I'm going to sequence it, though. It'll depend on a lot on what my opponent does. But I'm somewhat on board for just, like, go all in on turn 2 Titania. It's kind of bad against Daze, though, so maybe I won't do that. So, if I want to just, like, roll to a counterspell, I go all in on Orcish Lumberjack. I think I play this game a little bit slower. And I'm going to lead with Bird. This Bird probably will get, like, dazed or bolted in some capacity. And maybe that'll pave the way for the Lumberjack to do something a couple of turns down the line. Alright, my opponent has a force. Opponent's draw is aggressive. Alright, so I'm going to go 3 mana this turn. 3 mana doesn't do a lot. Gaddock Teague does essentially nothing in this matchup. I think I'm going to start with this. I'll lead on Mr. Lumberjack. And then I think I'm going to play this Grove tapped. If I play the Grove tapped, then next turn I can Teague. Teague shuts off Force, and then I can safely do my thing. I guess I can also just do my thing. Like, I can also just Teague with Bird as well. But I think I'm still just going to play that tapped. JPA, I think if you're putting Dread of Night in your sideboard, you 100% bring it in versus Miracles. I don't know that you bring in multiples, but I'd be totally fine with having one in my deck for Miracles. Alright, so my opponent just forces that. Alright, so what happens if I Lumberjack here? I can go up to 5 mana and cast Titania. Alright, what happens if that goes wrong? I lose a land, so this is gone, and then next turn I go 3, 4, 5, 6. Next turn I cast Titan anyway. YOLO. What color would I want to take myself off of? Probably white. That's just like night. Sort of unfortunate that Titania dies to Bolt. But if it doesn't die, I'm going to have things to do, chat. I'm going to get to Wasteland them, make an Elemental, Orcish Lumberjack, make an Elemental, Primeval Titan, get some sweet lands. This deck's really fun. No, JPA. When I've played like some Blade decks that were running Dread of Night in the sideboard or things of that nature, I always boarded in it for Miracles. Or maybe it wasn't Blade, like, because that has white creatures. But whenever I was playing like a blue mid-range deck that had Dread of Night, I was boarding it in for Miracles. Aww. Yeah, I'm taking a lot of damage. That's for sure. Alright, so how much mana do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 8 mana. So I can go Primeval Titan and then Punishing Fire, Insectile, Aberration. Alright, so let me just confirm that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. So I go Primeval Titan first. No, it doesn't matter. My opponent's Hellbent, so I can just do it in either order. And then next turn, I can Grove to get back my Punishing Fire. I don't think it really matters which one I do at this point. Alright, so what lands am I getting? I can just get Stage Depths and produce a 20/20 next turn. That's probably decent. Yeah, Bog would have been pretty good. Alright, so I can Crop Rotation for Stage, get Stage, produce a Merit Lodge, and have my opponent dead on the following turn. Alternatively, I just go tap this, Crop Rotation, get Wasteland, waste, Primeval Titan, attack in, get second Stage, and Bojuka Bog, and I don't know how I possibly lose from there. I think I like that better. I'm going to do that. What does chat say? Chat says kill red sources. I agree. I wonder if this deck is just good, if I can make this many mistakes and still, like, be winning with it. I think I'm going to get rid of my Sheltered Grove. So I guess I'll keep both of these back just as a safety net. Nah, I'm getting Bog. Like, the Lumberjack can attack. Opponent doesn't have Stifle or anything. But at the same time, if I just, like, hold the Lumberjack back, I can just trade with the Goose. If that would be something I was interested in doing. Yeah, I am in agreement that the 1 point of damage is completely irrelevant at this game, at this stage of the game. Alright, I did it. So we're playing against Rug Delver. I'm probably going to have plenty of cards that are fine, right? So the question I'm going to have to ask myself is, like, what is good? Like, what is better than the cards that I'm already playing? Like, Teague's a pretty clear cut. The natural orders are a little weak against counter magic. But I don't know how much of that my opponent's going to keep in. Yeah, Rurik Thar is probably better than Atarka. Like, they're different, but Rurik Thar is pretty hard to beat for Delver. No, I want to cut Sylvan Library. That's for sure. I don't really love the crop rotations. They're really bad against counter magic, so I can't just kind of, like, go all in on just, like, grabbing quick stage depths. At the same time, it's fine against the opposing wastelands, though. Alright, I think this is probably overboarding if I do these. I think the crop rotations are risky, and that would leave me at the perfect 61. Kozilek's Return does not get rid of True Name Nemesis, right? True Name Nemesis has protection from the player. It's not protection from every color. So that won't get rid of True Name. Thalia is a card, but I think a lot of my non-creature spells are actually pretty good. Like my Swords, my Choke, my Punishing Fires, so I don't actually think that I want to do that. Like, if I were going to play one other card here, like, I'm kind of looking at the Kozilek's Return because it can sweep Mongoose off the board in the early game. That might be loose. My Sylvan Safekeeper also might not be necessary. I guess it protects Titania from Bolt. How many Dryad Arbors do I have? I assume I have one Dryad Arbor. I have one Dryad Arbor. And the little scumbag's in my hand, so this isn't actually acceleration. I think since my opponent mulliganed, I'm going to keep this hand. This hand isn't particularly exciting, but I think this is the sort of hand where I might be able to just, like, leverage the fact that I have a bunch of lands to not get gimped by things like Stifle and Wasteland that otherwise could be problematic for me. Alright, so my opponent mulled to 5. Since my opponent mulled so low, I'm really tempted to just, like, nug their volcanic island and just try to screw them. It's bad if the Delver blind flips, but otherwise it's pretty insane. I think I'm going to do it. Unless that Delver blind flips this turn, I will have absolutely no regrets about that. If the Delver blind flips this turn, like, I'm going to be behind on board, but my hand's pretty good, and, like, I'll have a turn 2 Green Sun Zenith. This Punishing Fire is nuts. I could play around Stifle by, like, fetching here, but I wouldn't play around Wasteland then, because I'm going to want red here. So I think I'm not going to fetch yet. No, I'm going to need non-basics this game. Alright, so my opponent has Daze. Still no lands. Alright, Mox Diamond's great. I can pitch this Dryad Arbor that's otherwise pretty terrible. And now that I have this, I can fetch basics. We have Forest with this one. Plains with this one. And I could just jam the Knight right here. I'm probably better off just Punishing Firing the Delver, though. If this game drags on, I'm terribly, terribly favored. I mean, we killed my D&T opponent in, like, 7 turns total. They just, like, did not put up with my crap. They conceded very quickly. Alright. Nice 1-1, opponent. So I get to play this Knight around Daze, which feels pretty fantastic. Let me tell you. Yeah, this deck is feeling pretty good. I agree. Alright, so opponent... This seems like poor brainstorm timing, right? Like, my opponent is setting up to flip their Delver, but there's no reason for them to do this now as opposed to later, I don't think. Alright. How can I best just destroy them this turn? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, potentially 6 mana. I know my opponent has a Daze, though. So I don't just want to go, like, Green Sun for Titania. I can just, like, Punishing Fire Delver, play Knight. Use Knight, Wasteland them after killing Delver. I could also just produce a 20/20 right now and make them have something weird. All right, let's see. So I could go 1, 2, 3 mana, 4 mana. Yeah, so I can sack probably my forest, and I can make a 20/20 and also Punishing Fire first. 1, 2, 3, 4, sack, get Dark Depths, use 2 mana this, and Punishing Fire that. And then I don't know how I possibly lose. My opponent is salty that they're losing. Solnox's deck feels sweet. 2-0, games haven't been close, and I've been making lots of mistakes. Well, this hand seems fine. So, in the past, my opponents played like a lot of like Maverick style decks and Stoneblade style like mid-range decks. So, I'm certainly gonna Mox on turn 1. I don't need this. Then I'll play this. Drop the bird. I'll leave off the decision of what to do with this fetch land for a turn. And then I get to slam turn 2 Knight. So, I know I said I was gonna play turn 2 Knight, but I can also just, well, no, I can just fetch a Taiga here because it doesn't matter. If my opponent has Wasteland, they'll waste my Grove. Ooh, I don't get to undo that because Punishing Fire. Oops. Note to self, don't tap Grove of the Burn Willows wrong. No, it's not the mirror. They're playing like a Maverick sort of deck. Oh, God. Oh, God. Cover your eyes, chat. This is just dirty. How many bombs do you have? Man, opponent has lands and they have moms. What else do you need, really? Alright, so they have a bird. Alright, so if I play this, I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, play Titania, Titania, get back Wasteland, Wasteland them, Knight, destroy a land, get some other fetch land, and herpa derpa 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 derp. I believe it is pronounced. Elf Kid, I'm 2-0, 4-0 in games. Oh, holy shit, I can get back Grove, too? Oh, that's adorable. So I could just get back Grove, buy back my Punishing Fire, sack my forest to Wasteland them. Yeah. This is disgusting. Actually, I don't know if I'm supposed to get the Grove. Like, the Grove's fine. But I can probably just go wider than the Mom pretty quickly. I think I get Wasteland and then pass with Knight up.